Just like in the song Smooth by Rob Thomas and Santana, man, it was a hot one. Temperatures today were in the upper 80s. Yeah, love that song. Right now we've got it at a 0.001% chance that we're going to have a white Christmas. And ironically, this is also the average Metacritic as well as Rotten Tomatoes score of cats. So it's really bad, still really bad, and it is not going to get any better. We'll start with some good news first because we need it. We've got just 5 more days until March 20th, the first day of spring, because it's definitely not feeling like spring out there this afternoon. This funnel cloud, which normally, might come down a little bit and then goes back up into the clouds, well, it actually came down and touched down, which would therefore make it a tornado. There's actually a very small tornado warning. We get a scan every couple minutes. This is now moving very fast off to our northeast at 60 miles per hour. So if you live in the Herrick area, you need to be in your safe spot right now, because this is got a very, very strong rotation signature with it. And we have officially broken a record here in Champaign, as well as in many other locations too. Danville broke a record, Decatur, Springfield, Charleston, Mattoon, Effingham, everyone today broke a record. And then tomorrow we look to have temperatures that'll be a little bit cooler thanks to the winds kind of churning up the atmosphere. What's kind of cool though is that we don't have any rain on there, but the radar is actually able to pick up on the cold front coming through there. That's that little line right there. So this will change our wind direction out of the northeast, and that'll make for a slightly more comfortable day for tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Jack Gerfen here in Mahomet at the Sangamon River, and as you can see behind me, the Sangamon River has really risen quite a bit here with all the rain that we saw on Sunday. Many spots saw 4, 5, 6, 7 inches of rain, if not even more, and all that rain had to go somewhere. All those small creeks and tributaries have now emptied out into the Sangamon, and as a result of that, this thing is very high. We have not yet crested yet. We are still waiting until probably tonight or tomorrow for our highest levels to be seen. So make sure if you live nearby the river that you give yourself extra space, and as always, turn around, don't drown.
WCIA 3's Jack Gerfen took to the skies in a 1928 Ford tri-motor airplane. Take a look at that. He even had the chance to take control of the Tin Goose himself. Take a look.
I got to sit in the Ford tri-motor, but I also got to drive it too. There is no experience quite like feeling over 1,200 horsepower through the steering wheel of a Ford Model A a few thousand feet in the air. Back in 1928, there was no experience quite like the first luxury airliner either. Unlike other Destination Illinois stories, this one is literally not about the destination, but about the journey. Route 66 in Illinois isn't just a cool drive, it's a look back at how the automobile shaped our nation's landscape into what it is today. And there's no better way to start off our Destination Illinois tour of Route 66 than right here at the beginning in downtown Chicago. There were dozens of tornado reports from last night. The St. Louis area was hit very hard with a few rounds of tornadic storms. And what you're looking at right now is video from last night from our sister station, KTVI in St. Louis, of damage to an Amazon Fulfillment Center warehouse in Edwardsville, Illinois, and that's in the Metro East area. Governor J.B. Pritzker and his wife reported nearly $5.1 million in personal income last year. That's more than double their income during his first year in office. Tax records from 2020 show Illinois' first couple claimed $2.9 million in deductions and paid $760,000 in federal and state taxes. So as we watch the Illini play in Indy for their first game against Drexel, that'll be on TBS at 12:15 our time. We've got temperatures in Indy expected to be in the upper 40s with some showers in the morning, clearing skies after that. For our weekend, though, it looks good. Temperatures will be back in the 50s and 60s, so after a pretty lousy work week, the weekend is looking to be a lot nicer. The thing that's kind of different between this one and the other very important forecast, which would have been for D-Day, was that the D-Day forecast to storm Normandy was really dependent on the forecast, whereas this one was not. The Japanese forces came across the entire ocean, so they were going to attack us no matter what. It was, as we know, it was a sneak attack, so it really was not going to be much of a factor if it was a bad forecast or not. The thing is, though, it was actually a beautiful day 80 years ago tomorrow. Temperatures in the morning when they started the attack was 73 degrees, and it was noted that visibility was good. If I have this entire thing wet for 4 minutes with disinfecting wipes, I very well could end up staining this car in my dashboard with it. So I probably will not actually disinfect the dashboard up there. Keep in mind too, I'm not actively touching it up there all the time anyways. So it's okay to let that one go. You've cleaned it, that's gonna be good enough.
I haven't been to Fisher.
You haven't been to Fisher's yet?
No. I didn't. I haven't been to WCIA.
So yeah, so she's got a whole bunch of them. And you, on your birthday that you just had, your birthday, what was the theme of your birthday?
I changed my birthday party at my daycare, and I let it out some cupcakes.
It takes about 6 inches of moving water to move a person and about 12 inches to move a car. And that's why we continue to stress, turn around, don't drown if you come across a road that is completely covered. As little as 2 feet of moving water can move a truck. You also don't know what's underneath the surface of the water as well. The road could be washed out. That's why you do not want to drive around barricades. Even if you're walking through it, which you don't advise because there could be contaminants like sewage and other debris in there that could hurt you, as little as 6 inches of moving water can knock you over.
You came upon one up there. Tell us about what you're seeing in your area near Rantoul.
Yep, so I'm in Rantoul. I'm actually just about to get back onto 57 North because that's where this overturned semi is. I'm going to put it on our front camera here. We actually have a lot of flashing lights ahead of us as the road conditions in Champaign County on 57 are still a little bit rough. There's actually one car that is off the highway in the far right shoulder down in the ditch. When I drove by it on the other side, on the southbound side earlier on, it was definitely full. I couldn't tell what it was full with, but it was definitely a full truck. But we've got it here. In fact, this is the guardrail just on the left side here, and it's taken that out. So that is the overturned semi as well as the car. But still a great afternoon to go get some lunch outside and dinner this evening too. All looking good, clear skies for the most part, those upper level clouds. And if there is a little bit of a breeze, just put your water glass on your napkins and you'll be all good to go. So for today, we should top out around 72. Still pretty sunny, a little bit more breezy. Southwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. And then clear skies overnight tonight with a low of 50. Less wind, south winds at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So here's our future track for tomorrow. Once again, just kind of giving you a little bit of a closer view. You'll notice that we've got a little bit more cloud cover still for tomorrow morning and afternoon. But even as late as 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we're still pretty dry for our Wednesday. But here comes the front. And then by about 8 o'clock, give or take, we'll probably have some rain showers that get into the far western part of our viewing area, kind of along and west of I-55. You'll notice there's not really much here. These are all very spotty rain showers and potentially a rumble of thunder here and there. And that's pretty much it. More than anything, though, this front will be the reason why our temperatures drop. So it could be a stronger storm here or there. The marginal risk that we have from the Storm Prediction Center is essentially kind of for the western half of our viewing area. On a scale of 1 to 5, that's only a 1, so maybe a storm that does develop has some gusty winds with it. But really the big thing with the forecast with this cold front is that it takes us from the 70s today and tomorrow down into the 60s on Thursday.
Now Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Jack Gerfen.
It was a great weekend with all the sunshine and the warm temperatures, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But first off, be sure to download our app. The WCIA3 weather app is free on your Android or Apple devices, and you may have to access it for tomorrow because of the active weather that we expect in terms of maybe some strong to severe thunderstorms thanks to a low that'll be passing through. But like I said, it really was a warm weekend. We had temperatures that were near record highs and even breaking records both Saturday and Sunday. So yesterday's high, we topped at 85. The record was set back in 2018 of 86, so obviously very close to that. And then at the Illinois State Water Survey, which is where we have our records, we topped out today at 87. The airport was at 89, but the record will be 87, and that beats the 86 that was set back in 1962. So obviously a very warm day. Many spots were pretty close to a record in the viewing area, and it still is very warm out there this evening. We've got temperatures that are at 75 in Champaign, same temperature in Decatur. Springfield is there too, 73 in Bloomington, so it's very warm, also very breezy with our winds coming in out of the south. In many spots up to around 20 miles an hour, gusts around 25 miles an hour, and so we'll be looking at things to be a little bit more strong with our winds for the day tomorrow. So Danville right now on our Flowing America iNet camera is going to start to see more clouds like we are all going to during the overnight hours. You see that right now Storm Tracker Doppler is very quiet and the satellite is pretty quiet too, but not that far away across Iowa going back into Missouri. We have all these showers and storms that are in place, and those are going to be moving off to the northeast here over the overnight hours. But down to our south across Oklahoma and Texas is where we have our large severe weather outbreak with a number of tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings. This is the low, which you can see circulating over the panhandle of Oklahoma. That's the low that comes in tomorrow that brings us our chance for storms. So overnight tonight, we should be pretty cloudy, especially by tomorrow morning, with lows around 68 with our winds still out of the south. And then as we go into tomorrow, we'll see our gusts gust, potentially picking up to around 40 miles an hour. It keeps us at around 80, but we are talking about now adding in the chance for strong to severe storms. The Storm Prediction Center is already on that. They have a slight risk out for the entire viewing area for tomorrow, and our main threats are going to be all three. We've got mainly a wind threat out of this system and setup, which we'll show here in just a moment. Hail is there, but tornadoes not zero. So we'll look at the potential for some of these storms to possibly have some rotation with them tomorrow because the low goes pretty close to our area. So here's our future track for tomorrow. You'll notice that tomorrow morning we are cloudy and temperatures are very warm. So your drive to work, you've got no problems. But then about 10, 11 o'clock or so, these showers and storms will begin to develop and push into our viewing area. By about noon, they should be pretty close to I-57. And then as we go into the later parts of our afternoon, we'll have them approaching the Indiana line by later on in the afternoon. And continuing into the late afternoon and early evening, things should begin to wrap up. But because these are all kind of spinning around the low, which will be pretty much passing over the area, that rotation is possible that we could see some of these storms exhibit. So that's going to be something to watch out for our day tomorrow. So we also, regardless of whether or not it is going to be storming or not, have very strong winds that are expected. Our trash can forecast, we're going down the street with it for tomorrow because our winds will likely be gusting to around 40 miles an hour out of the south. It kind of comes down a little bit more after that. But this system is our first one of a few of them this week. So this is the compact low that comes through for tomorrow, brings us the possibility for severe storms. It should be a quiet day on Tuesday, but then on Wednesday, our next chance of rain comes in with this second system. Its cold front kind of stays around here, so we have some more rain showers for Thursday, spotty rain showers for Friday, and then as we go into our Saturday, there will be a new system that comes through there giving us rain, with Sunday being a dry forecast. So overall, we are very active, and all these rain showers amount to potentially around 1 inch to 2 inches of rain for the week. Along with all the rain chances will be our temperatures that begin to fall. So we're still way above average tomorrow, a high of around 80, with the strong winds and the storms that could be strong to severe. We're going to look at temperatures falling down into the middle 70s for Tuesday and Wednesday. And then by the time we get towards the end of the weekend there, the end of the forecast, Renee, you saw some low and middle 60s. That's back to where we should be. So we are seeing kind of everything thrown in here this week. But this really was kind of like the reset button. This forecast was the reset button. We go from being way warm to now closer to normal. And we got these storms and rain showers and systems. So it's a lot more like October.
Sure, and so this will be more fall-like weather?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. So a week from today, it's going to feel, I mean, it'll feel comfortable, but it won't be the 80s like we had today.
Can't have them forever.
Can't have them forever.
Thanks so much, Jack.
Yeah.